You're sitting in your car in a parking lot. You've just left a meeting where you said nothing. You had ideas, good ones, but something stopped you, not fear. That feeling, that's not weakness. That's the sound of a man who's been given two impossible instructions at the same time. We've reached a strange moment in male psychology. You're being told simultaneously that your ambition is toxic, your confidence is arrogance, your desire to lead is selfish, and your need for respect is fragile ego. But you're also being told, by salary, by culture, by the invisible ladder, that if you're not winning, you're losing. If you're not climbing, you're falling. The goalpost moved, but nobody announced it. You just woke up one day and realized you didn't know the rules anymore. And here's what nobody wants to say, that confusion is by design. Modern masculinity didn't fail. It was fractured. There's a difference. For thousands of years, masculine identity had a container. It was flawed, often cruel, frequently stupid, but it was clear. A man provided, a man protected. A man earned status through visible acts, hunting, building, defending, creating. The feedback loop was direct. You could see the result of your effort. Your family ate, your tribe was safe, your name meant something in the room. This wasn't healthy for everyone. Women had no seat at the table. Vulnerability was pathological. But the structure worked for the people it was built for. Then something fractured it. Around the 1960s, that container started breaking. Women entered the workforce. Divorce became legal. Therapy became mainstream. The internet came, and suddenly every man was competing with every other man, not just in his village, but globally. At the same time, the old metrics stopped counting. A man could build an empire and be told it meant nothing if his emotions weren't processed. He could earn millions and be told he was failing at vulnerability. He could be a devoted father and still feel like he was doing it wrong because the culture kept moving the definition of what a good father looked like. You got the worst of both worlds. You were supposed to compete like your grandfather, ruthlessly, constantly, without complaint, but you were also supposed to feel like your therapist, deeply, openly, without armor. You were supposed to be ambitious and humble, confident and self-aware, strong and emotionally available. The recipe became paradoxical. No wonder so many men in their 30s and 40s feel like they're failing. The game doesn't have rules anymore, or it has too many. But here's what's being missed in every think piece about the crisis of masculinity. The problem isn't masculinity itself. The problem is that you're trying to build an identity in a system that profits from your confusion. Think about what you consume. Dating apps that gamify intimacy, fitness industries that sell you an impossible body, self-help books that promise transformation in 90 days, social media that shows you 47 versions of success and makes you feel behind in all of them. These systems need you uncertain. Certainty doesn't spend money. Confusion does. The average man in your demographic spends 4-6 hours a day consuming content designed to make him feel inadequate. That's not accidental. That's a business model. You're not broken. You're being kept broken. Because a man who feels like he's enough, actually enough, not performatively enough, stops consuming the products designed to fix him. Here's the part that will sting because it's true. You've internalized the fracture so completely that you can't see it anymore. You tell yourself you want a real connection, but you've been trained by dating apps to treat people like a scroll. You tell yourself you want purpose, but you measure it in metrics that were designed by algorithms. You tell yourself you want to be a better man, but better has been outsourced to Instagram influencers and self-help podcasts and TED Talks from people who may have less real-world success than you do. The modern masculine identity crisis isn't a crisis of masculinity. It's a crisis of autonomy. You don't get to decide what a good man looks like anymore. Culture does. Your social feeds do. your therapist does, your girlfriend does, your boss does, and they all want different things. So you've become a shapeshifter. You code switch, you perform. You fragment yourself into manageable pieces for each audience, and the cost of that, the real cost, is that you don't know who you actually are underneath anymore. That guy in the parking lot? He wasn't confused about his ideas. He was confused about whether those ideas were his. They felt borrowed. They felt unsafe. They felt like they might belong to a version of masculinity that he'd been told was dangerous. So here's what actually needs to happen, and this is where it gets uncomfortable. You have to give yourself permission to fail at the current definition of manhood, not fail at being a good person. Not fail at ethics or kindness or depth, but fail at the performance, fail at the impossible checklist, fail at being simultaneously ruthless and vulnerable, ambitious and grounded, confident and self-doubting. That checklist was never designed for humans. It was designed to keep you buying solutions. The men who are actually winning right now, not by social media metrics, but by actual satisfaction, actual relationships, actual peace, are the ones who've done something radical. They've stopped trying to be everything. They've chosen a direction. They've accepted that choice means rejection. They've stopped performing masculinity and started building it based on their own values, not the culture's values. That's terrifying, by the way. Because the moment you step off the treadmill, you stop comparing yourself to 7 billion other men. You actually have to know yourself. You have to have your own standards. You have to be willing to fail privately instead of succeeding publicly. Modern masculinity isn't failing. You're just finally noticing that the game was rigged. The only way out is to build your own game. And that starts with a decision nobody makes for you. None of this fixes itself by watching one more video, including this one. But if this channel is going to be part of the game you build on purpose, subscribe. The next video picks up where this one lets go.